I was asked to talk about green building, I reckon because we built the first hotel in the United States, and still only one of 3 that attained the highest level of certification from the U.S. Green Building Council, Platinum. So here are my thoughts in a lightning sort of fashion about green building. A synonym for green building is duh. We accidentally ended up with this green building. All we decided we could do is sincerely ask the question, is there a sustainable angle with each decision we made? And we just stumbled into finding that it makes sense to harvest the sun's energy. You don't get a bill for it. It makes sense to use elevators that generate electricity when they descend for when they ascend. It makes sense to use 39% less energy. It saves about $140,000 a year. So we were able to find practical ways of getting there. So we enjoy being idealistic, but we also enjoy being practical because it's not sustainable to go broke. So here are my points about it. Consider when you're building green, it's very simple. Consider how you can use less energy with the operation of the building and building it, how you can consider sustainable materials, but also consider durability, life cycle assessment. That's real important. If I were the czar of sustainability, I'd have a sign in my office that says, it's about the density, stupid. Yes, the neighborhoods have to be integrated where you have things around. It's just not residential density. But if we're really going to look forward hundreds of years, as I think we have an obligation to do, we have to think in terms of density. Why do we not build more green buildings? I think it's simple. It's because of how we keep our books. It's because of how we use very little capital and a lot of debt when we build things. And most people that build things don't build them to own them, they build them to sell them. Here's a few points. Ugly is not sustainable. Buildings get torn down because they're not durable or because they get ugly or they've uglied out. So consider that. Going broke isn't sustainable, so make sense out of what you're working on. Green, really, by definition, is just a consideration of future generations. I encourage us all to pretend like we have someone from 2, 5, and 15 generations forward sitting with us when we're making a decision. See what their points of view are. It's easy to chat with them. Green is not a religion. It's please stay objective when you get into this stuff. Stay idealistic and stay practical. We can do more than one thing at a time. If we just stay idealistic, then we'll end up doing stupid green things that no one will follow, which I call caveat veritas emptor, beware green buyer. And last is we need less D's and less R's and more U's to depoliticize this whole issue. I don't get why considering future generation is a conservative or a liberal issue. I don't think it is. I think it's an independent, unaffiliated sort of issue. And when that question came up, I had to add that to my list. Ciao.
My name is Bob Chapman, and I'm a real estate developer. I live in Durham. I'm working in Greensboro on the South Elm development with 3 other partners, Yvonne Smith from Winston-Salem and Bob Isner from Greensboro and Seth Perry from Baltimore. I often say that the best thing about being a real estate developer is that you get all the privacy you could possibly want at cocktail parties. I'm an unusual kind of real estate developer. I'm a new urbanist. I've been doing it since 1990. Have been working with Bob Isner, who had great success in Greensboro with Southside since 2001. I have 5 successfully completed projects under my belt, 2 of which were planned by Wanda Slater-Zyberg. The Greensboro project is an amazing opportunity, and I've never been in a situation where a city has been so committed to being helpful and doing all the right things. And they acquired the land, they understood the importance of this site, It's really, in a way, the main of Greensboro. A lot of people say North Elm and Market is the main, but in terms of traffic counts downtown, if you count Eugene as well, there are over 30,000 cars a day that pass this site, far more than a little further north. Greensboro has done such a great job of rediscovering itself. It is a very cool place. Being from Durham, I was shocked the first time I went to Greensboro 2 or 3 years ago on a Saturday night, and couldn't even drive down the street. People have really understood how much they missed having a great downtown, and they understand how much fun it is to live in downtown. There's a downtown residents association of Greensboro. There are lots of opportunities. Bob and his partners built several hundred apartments at Southside called City View, and it set records in terms of occupancy, and it's within sight of the South Elm project. The importance of the South Elm is really to create a gateway at the south end, and then also to expand its success further south toward the interstate. Our development plan is to build 125 to 130,000 square feet of mixed-use educational and commercial space. We're very encouraged. There's been a tremendous amount of interest in that. To build a 150-room hotel, which would be an asset for downtown and also for the other activity at South Elm, and to have around 200 to 210 apartments and at least 20,000 square feet of retail, also for sale units, and a civic building right on a new square, which would be an event space. And everything has just come together beautifully. We've just had amazing support, a great team. We hold open meetings at our office in Greensboro every Thursday afternoon for community input. We had 5 outreach meetings with people in the neighborhood, people across downtown Greensboro in 5 different locations, and people are excited about it. And I think it's going to be a tremendous addition and an exciting place in Greensboro. And as a new urbanist, the difference between me and most developers is that to a large extent we believe that the space between the buildings is more important than the space inside the buildings, and so it's an exercise in placemaking. And we will know that we've succeeded if people go there on purpose just to be there. Thank you very much.
I don't have a PowerPoint, I just have one slide. My name is Lynn Romley. I'm the mayor of Cooley, North Carolina, a town, we believe, of 969 people. At this moment, there's another baby due next week. And now you don't have to hold it up if everybody's seen it. The slide is over. On October 1st, we embarked on a 10-year project to redevelop Cooley's town center and economic engine, which will be located in our largest physical asset, aside from the South Yadkin River, which is man-built anyway, humanly built, which is our cotton mill. It's 660,000 square feet. It's humongous. Nobody's going to want it as a factory anymore. The owners want to sell it, and we need something new there. Cooley's mill, I'll start with 1963, and I'm not going to give you a history lesson, but by 1963, after Christmas, the bulldozers had showed up twice that Burlington Industries sent and tore down our entire square, our entire downtown. One side before Christmas, one side after. At least people thought they would have long-term jobs because of companies like Burlington, modern companies like J.P. Stevens, were going around buying up mills that were becoming large, looked like viable, textile companies that would replace the old family-owned companies and chains like Irwin Mills that we had. Well, in 1969, they closed the mill because it wasn't as profitable as some of the other mills, even though it had completely new machinery. It was silly. Our town lost not only its town center, but its economic engine in 6 years. What has kept Cooley alive since then is the spirit and tangible results of community. Where I live, the people who went to first grade together at Cooley School are still best friends. I'm still an outsider, although I've been there 26 years. I've been adopted, so I'm lucky. But that's not a bad thing, I've learned. It's a very good thing. Because people want new people to come to Cooley, but they have to go through a process of becoming part of the community. And people really do test this. I wouldn't say that we're a commune or anything like that, but we are an actual community, not a virtual community, not a neighborhood built on dreams, but this is an actual functioning community that can take something like a threat to having our woods on the riverbank of the South Yakima River clear cut, and within 16 months, through the Parks and Recreation Trust Fund and other groups, and our own pockets, raise $1.1 million to build a nature park, 80-acre nature park, which is situated right next to the mill that we're fixing to develop. In 2 years, we hope to have our project investor ready with the certification of the historic tax credits, both state and federal. We will have a nice portfolio to show investors, and the town never intends to own the mill. I do want to say a couple things about this regionalism, though. As much as I learned from coming to meetings like this, and we value the services of this, whatever we've gotten from the federal government, the state government, county government, the key ingredient to our future it's our people. And we want to have a say in this future. That's why when we have a planning shred, we don't want it to be a token thing next May. We really want people to think about how to long-range plan their community. If people want jobs to be produced in this mill project, they have to think of what jobs are not exportable. If we want to be surrounded, which we love, with the green countryside around us, we have to do something with the farmers, because I've known 3 young people to go to North Carolina State to learn scientific farming and come back and end up, nothing wrong with landscaping companies, but they can't practice farming because they don't make a living. We have to figure out how to create our own livelihoods. And I will tell you that people did used to plan. This planning stuff is not new. There's a Winston to Charlotte line, a railroad track that's not used, but one way for freight one time a day and one way the other way. There's a perfectly good railroad track from Winston to Charlotte, which is why Cooley got to be there in the beginning, because somebody planned it. Time? Okay. Anyway, thank you, bro.
Good morning, my name is Jamal Fox, and this is Rachel Wright, and we're on behalf of TAC, the Transit Alliance of the Piedmont. It's a new citizen advocacy group that we're starting here regionally in the Piedmont area. That's going to become new cities around. We're pumped up, we're excited about this, because as the mayor just said, it's about citizens voicing what they want for the future. It's about providing the opportunities today for their prosperity tomorrow. It's about looking at connectivity and accessibility for our citizens as it relates to transit. And that's what we're developing here today. And right now I want to read the mission of this group. The Transit Alliance of the Piedmont, TAP, is an alliance of organization leaders and citizens who support a plan for regional transit and the Piedmont of North Carolina. TAP supports a multimodal transit plan that uses a variety of transit options and is focused on education, advocacy, and civic engagement, providing quality transit. Now, the focus of our group is looking at dedicated local funding for transportation, understanding the whole and the big picture as it relates to housing, jobs, and transportation in this area. Better transportation options across this region to help with the connectivity and accessibility for all citizens. And to look at having a regional customer service center housed under one roof. Now, this time, I'm going to let Gracia talk about what we see as opportunities for the future.
Thanks, Jamal. Hi, everyone. This has been such an exciting summit, and I want to thank all the speakers and all of the opportunities that we got to chat with each other during the break. And I'm really excited about the Transit Alliance of the Piedmont. When I travel to other places, the most, other than doing the work that I have to do, one of the most exciting things that I enjoy is riding public transportation, because I can, because it saves money out of my pocket, because it allows me to go places that I wouldn't be able to go if I were driving in New York in a rental car, or Chicago, and et cetera, et cetera. So I'm really excited about the Transit Alliance of the Piedmont, because it's past time for this kind of alliance to come and be doing something in the Piedmont, educating and promoting transportation choices for our citizenry. So what do we see as opportunities in our region? We see that when we have transportation choices, that we see economic development, we see jobs, we see systems that support existing employment. In cities that have transportation choices, like I just mentioned, billions of dollars are created in economic development. New businesses will be attracted to come to our area if we offer more transportation choices. Jobs are immediately created, of course, when we build and maintain transit systems. And current employees desire reliable and convenient transportation options. So what else do we see as opportunities? We see that transit will save money from the taxpayers to the riders. We've already talked today about how much money comes out of our pockets when we are driving these vehicles. How many people today rode with someone, for example? So that's not many hands up. So when we have transportation options, the thinking goes more in that direction of maybe carpooling or ride sharing or riding the public transportation if it's available and get us there in less than an hour and a half if it's only 20 minutes away. We also see that gas prices are increasing. We talked about in the year 2020 at $8 a gallon, $15 a gallon by 2030. If that happens and we don't have more transportation options, you'll see me on a motor scooter, three-wheeler probably. New business will expand. This new business that will be attracted because of these options will expand our tax base, putting more funds into our infrastructure. What other opportunities do we see? We see that, with a improvement of the stigma, or reduction of the stigma of public transportation, and a bettering of the image of transit choices, we'll see ridership increasing among the younger population. That generation is very much attracted to an urban lifestyle. They want vibrant city centers that are supported with transit. We'll actually, I believe, lose this generation in our workforce and in our communities if we don't respond to their evolving lifestyle and their evolving choices. If we have these increased ridership options, it'll provide services to our counties that are in our region, and it'll serve both choice and riders. And transit will also protect the environment. It'll reduce cars on the road, increase air quality. We talked about the reduction in nitrates in the presentation earlier, and it'll promote a healthier lifestyle because people have to walk to the bus station or to the corner, or a little bit more than just walking to our car.
And just briefly, since I see the time is getting ready to go on us, what can you do? We have a sign-up sheet outside with a registration booth. We'd like to see more people involved in this community and this region in all 12 counties so we can actually move forward and look at transportation issues for our citizens. Thank you. Have a great summer.
Good morning. My name is Brittany Sutton. I'm Director of Cooperative Extension in Rockingham County. I'm your token agricultural representative here today. You have heard about the huge industry that agriculture is in this region as well as in North Carolina. We've also heard stories about how it's hard for farmers to make a living. And you've heard the woes of losing farmland and green space. Well, I'm here to tell you today how you personally can participate and make a difference today. You don't have to wait for a plan. I'm going to help you with your plan to start today with this. I want to tell you about our local food coalition. Our local food coalition that is a regional coalition that began in Rockingham County. And just 3 words that I'd like for you to take out of this mission statement are quality food, sustainable agriculture, and regionalism. This is an organization that began back in 2008 when we brought together people that were concerned about losing farmland, concerned about local food, all those kinds of things, and it quickly grew to a regional project. Alan Wood is here somewhere today. Alan Wood called me and said, I hear you guys are doing something, we want to be part of it. It's a group that got busy together and went to work. And the first and major project of this local food coalition is PiedmontLocalFood.com. On your tables, you have a brochure, PiedmontLocalFood.com. Make sure you have this in your hand. This is a marriage of agriculture and technology. This is a way for you, for your family, for your business, to immediately begin to participate in enjoying good quality local food. That you go online and order a virtual farmers market that brings together farmers from 6 different counties that delivers food throughout the Triad. You order your food, pay for it with your credit card, choose your place you're going to pick up your food, and you can begin today to help support your local economy, to keep this farmland, to keep farmers in business, and to be healthier by eating better food. North Carolina is one of the most unhealthy states in our nation. It may be true that if we live to be 65, we're going to live another 20 years, but too many people don't live to 65 because of chronic disease that is directly related to poor eating behaviors. You can make a difference today for your family with this project. Rockingham County and Guilford County Commissioners voted unanimously a couple of years ago to support the North Carolina 10% campaign and Piedmont Local Food as a wellness initiative for their employees. It's something that has a lot of interest. Quite frankly, a lot of people are not changing their behaviors and taking advantage of programs just like this to make themselves healthier and our economy healthier. The Local Food Coalition also encompasses the Rockingham County Farmers Market. Another way you can is, of course, supporting your local farmers markets, the Cobblestone Market that's right across the way here. Farmers markets are throughout our region. Another marketing way to help yourselves be healthier and your economy be healthier. In Rockingham County, part of our local food work includes a community kitchen. This is a shared use facility for the small business entrepreneurs to begin food-related businesses. It's another resource that's available in our area. Community gardens make a huge impact on feeding the hungry. Throughout our region, and particularly in Rockingham County, we have very strong community garden projects. Just one garden among 25 or so that are in Rockingham County distributed over 8,000 pounds of food to needy families this year. You can participate in these kinds of things. It takes a lot of partnering and working together. Certainly we've had a lot of partners on our projects so far that have helped make this possible, but the real partners that can make this be sustainable and can make this last is you. Every single individual family throughout this region of all these counties that can really help make a difference. This is something we do at least 3 times a day, right? Consume food. Think about where it's coming from and who you're helping support with that. Certainly there's a lot of work left to do. You'll also see on your table a little flyer about the Produce Ladies, another project that I do. It's an education project. It's a project to help farmers with their direct marketing. It's a project to help consumers know how to use local food in quick, easy, healthy ways. Because certainly healthier citizens help to make a healthier economy, and this is a way you can participate, and I encourage you to see me and learn more. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Jean Johnston, and I am from the city of Lexington, and I'm here today to talk about the multimodal transportation station area plan. And this train that you see in the picture up here, Amtrak, and actually the passenger rail and the freight Rail get together and actually cooperate for this one day a year when we bring Amtrak to Lexington for service. And that day is called Barbecue Festival, and that is going to be this Saturday. This is a picture of last year's drop-off. And also, right after the Barbecue Festival last year was when we had a major kickoff for the public, and we had John Robert Smith from Reconnecting America to help connect this, kick this project off. The multimodal transportation station, it first focuses on passenger rail service, not high speed, but passenger rail service. We are scheduled to be one of the, if not the last stop on the Charlotte to Raleigh corridor. And also we are planning for a regional transit system and bus drop-off, like a part, I hope it is part. We already have, the county has started a regional connector, and that connector actually, in the first 10 months it's operated, has already exceeded its projections. I'm going to give you a little context, and I'm supposed to address what livability principles we had some conceptual meetings, and in the 2009 conceptual meetings, transportation was the #1 component. We had 3 top components, and all of our public said we want a transportation hub. And also, this was funded by a DOT Tiger II planning grant and a $700,000 grant. And just to give you some context, the red line is the entire 60-plus brownfield site that we have aptly named the Depot District. The blue line represents what we call the LHB, the Lexington Home Brands Plant Facility. It's an 18-acre site that is going to be the first part to be redeveloped for the station. And the Dixie Smokestack is not because we're in the South, but because it was the Dixie Furniture Company at one time. And believe it or not, that smokestack has been asked to be one of the things that we do leave standing as we go through the district doing selective demolition. The Lexington Plant 1 building, that building will be the site of the new multimodal transportation station. And I am supposed to address the livability principles, but #1, if you've been in any work groups or if you've written any grants from EPA, from HUD, from DOT, I bet you know all of them by heart. So what I want to focus on are 2 things that were mentioned in terms of percentages today. And it's in your handout. And one of them that we talked about was the fact that over 30% of the workers in the region commute to a job outside their county of residence. In Davidson County, it's higher, it's in the 40s. And also with housing and transportation costs, there's a number up there that Davidson County has 48% of their income in housing and transportation is spent. In the southern part of Davidson County, which is where Lexington and Thomasville and Denton are, most of those census blocks are around 52 to 56% of their total income is spent on housing and transportation. And it isn't because housing is so expensive either. So those are the things that this is going to really address, obviously provide more transportation choices. And as I said, what's really going to get us to help the Housing and Transportation Index is going to be regional transit. It's going to be somebody like PART that's going to get our workers to the major employment centers of Winston-Salem, Greensboro, and High Point, and also be able to get them to hospitals and hopefully other learning facilities as well. And as someone just pointed out with Davidson County Community College, you wouldn't believe how many do take part to Davidson County Community College, and they have trouble getting across 85 that will be the next new campus that has been expanded into. I've got cards. You please feel free if you want to know more about the progress of the Tiger II grant and of the Lexington Multimodal Station Area Project. We are on schedule and moving right along. And please feel free to give me a call. And if you don't have a card, just call the City of Lexington and ask for me. I can assure you they'll find me. Thank you.
is a scene that goes on along the Triad, but it could be anywhere. Of course, I'm Greensboro-centric, so a lot of what you'll see will be Greensboro-centric, but the haze that you see over this picture is what I like to call the civic inferiority complex. You have a lot of good bones in this picture, but you don't have a lot of, you can't get past what you see, or you have people who just can't see through to change. Hopefully nobody is in this room like that, especially after this wonderful summit this morning. But we also have to remember that there's so many people in this region who haven't had a chance or will have a lot of things to climb out of when we do our projects. This is a real house in Guilford County that's been abandoned for some time, not sure how long, but as you can see, those of you who are into architecture, it's something that has been around for a while. And actually this style of architecture is returning in some respects to urban areas. Really what I want you all to think about is turning on the light and the Triad again for folks. Giving people a chance to come in rooms like this or rooms like that and feel like they belong. Or just building up that spirit inside of them that says, okay, I'm a part of this, I'm the light here, what can I do? It's keeping the people from getting on the interstates and getting out of here. It's turning around and saying, well, we have all these interstate connections, we're using that to build our Aerotropolis corridor, our warehouse corridor, bringing people in. Obviously we've talked about already the people who commute in and out of using I-85, I-40, and all the other spurs. What are we doing to do that? It's reminding people that we've innovated in the past. This is the interior, the top side is the interior of the Greensboro Depot, and it shows how expansive just the Southern Railroad Company was. That was just one of many railroad companies we had across the South and across the country. And of course, on the bottom there is a train that comes on time practically every day. I can vouch for that as a resident of the City View development that was spoken of earlier today. And it's one of the advantages we have of being here. It's one of the lights we have of being here in the Triad. Also, ask your friends who live in San Francisco to try to rent something like this for $800. It's not happening. It's happening, however, in downtown Greensboro and downtown Winston-Salem. Many other downtowns are even cheaper than that. But it's one of the lights we want to remind people of when we talk about our region here today. And once again, we reinvent ourselves. Those of you who are familiar with this alley in Greensboro know that these businesses that are mentioned are actually no longer in that space. However, one, they evolved into ways that work for them in different locations or multiple locations in the case of the bakery. They also have new businesses, very similar businesses, and it speaks to the evolution that we're able to do with what we already have here in the Triad area. So what do we do to turn on the light in the Triad? What I like to say is that we should remember or ask someone who knows where the switch is. Remember our history, talk to folks who've been there and done that, and make sure they're involved in the process. Use the right bulbs. The apartment complex is not going to be right for everyone, but it's going to be right for someone. Be willing to tell people. There's only about 100 of us in this room today, and we've got a lot of good information around these walls. Let's make sure that it gets out to the people who need it. The person who probably is in that grown-up house is still a person who needs to know about what we're doing in this room today. Change the bulbs as often as needed. We don't want the lights to go off. They may have been off somewhere, and they're off in a lot of places that we've already talked about. Let's get to a point where those lights come back on again somewhere. Try something new. For some cases we might need to save some things. In other cases, we will definitely need something different. And above all, let's just keep the lights on. That's what I want everyone to take away from this brief presentation. My name is Kristen Jeffers, and this is where you can find me on the web. And if you scan that QR code very quickly, you can find out more about this concept of the civic inferiority complex.